Hello guys, thank you for joining me for another DIY tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve this hairstyle. It's an African braiding hairstyle using yarn or wool. If you're interested to see how I achieve this look, stay tuned. Hope you enjoy this video. Hello everyone. So as I already mentioned in my intro, today I'm going to do my hair using this yarn. I'm starting with washed hair. So I washed my hair yesterday and I just put it in 2 pigtails and my bonnet and I went to sleep. I start off by cutting my yarn and I try and make the yarn quite longer than what my hair is. And to start off, you might waste a lot of yarn, but it's fine. It's actually quite cheap. It only costs $2 to $5 for this yarn, so it's not that expensive. This hairstyle, when I do it, it usually lasts me up to a month if I take care of it really well. However, I have been swimming a lot this summer season. Summer has started where I stay, so I have been swimming a lot. I'm doing aqua aerobic classes, and so this hairstyle is quite suitable for getting into the water, so I have to redo it every 3 weeks or so. I am going to be using my Eco Styler gel just to part the lines to ensure that my lines are straight. I will also use my red tail comb to part the lines. And I do my lines myself most of the time. I just do whatever I can. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. And you can see here I'm going slightly off center just because I don't want to open the line right in the middle of my head. So I'm going off center so I can have one cornrow that goes down along the center of my head. Now for this particular hairstyle, because my hair is pretty long, I end up doing some cornrows. If you don't know how to cornrow, you don't really have to do the cornrow. But I actually learned how to cornrow on my doll growing up. I always say this, I'm not a professional hairdresser, I'm not a professional hairstyler. So here I'm just parting my lines and I'm trying to go off center, and you will see me using a mirror to just check where the line is at. Let me say, it's not always straight when I do my lines. No one is going to stop me and say, you know, your line is on the side or your line is slanted. And yeah, sometimes my lines are not straight, but I'm still fine with that. So next I'm just going to use a hair tie, and I'm going to tie off this side of my hair, and I'm going to just straighten this front part because it's not looking as straight as I want. And then after that, I'm going to do another line right next to this one, so I have the center part for the cornrow that goes right in the middle. I always prefer to cornrow this center part because when I do this style without this center part cornrowed, the sun burns my scalp. So that is literally the only reason why I do this middle cornrow and why I have to part my hair like this. Now that I'm happy with my parting, I'm just going to tie the other side of my hair with a hair tie. And obviously, because she's a perfectionist, I'm just going through the line again to just make sure it's as straight as I can make it. So what I like to do with this center part of my hair is brush it out a bit. And once it's brushed out, I'm just going to go in and do my cornrow. So this is me attempting to cornrow my hair going back. I hold my cornrows different each time. I do not know how to explain it, but this is the normal way that everyone cornrows their hair, and I can only do this with this center line for some reason. I cannot do it on the sides. Can I just tell you, doing your own hair, it's like going to the gym. My arms get a workout, and at this point my arms are getting heavy. That's why you see me leaning on one side. But I'm gonna turn around so you can see me cornrowing the back. So when I come to the end, I try and do a twist So I'm twisting one half and then I'm twisting the other half because I'm going to separate this hair into two. It will make sense a bit later. So I'm just checking using my mirror if everything is perfect and I like what I've done. I'm doing my side parting now, so I'm putting some gel and I'm just going to part the side like that. So what I want to do on this side is I want to do two cornrows that are quite thick, so not really thin cornrows, because obviously it's a protective hairstyle, so I don't want to make it too thin. And so first I part the hair that I want to make the cornrows out. So that top part of the hair, it's going to be braided using the yarn. And then the bottom part, which I'm holding now, that's going to be two cornrows that are just going to go up. So I'm clipping the other hair that's going to be braided using the yarn, and I'm just brushing this because I want this to be as straight as possible. And now I'm separating it for me to do my two cornrows. So my two cornrows will be around this size. Once I'm happy with the parting, I take my oil, and so I'm just oiling the ends and the beginning, and I make sure that there's enough oil in the ends. And once I have the oil, I try and brush it so it's straight and smooth, and then I start braiding. Now, my cornrowing skill is very, very different. I hold my hair differently every single time, and the actual pattern that I actually cornrow has improved. So I cornrow my hair going back, and then I like to do a twist at the end, just like this. You will see that I will not twist my hair all the way. I'm just twisting a little bit and then I leave it. And then I go to the top hair. I do the same, oil my ends and then oil the roots and brush it out. And then I start cornrowing. So I'll just do exactly what I did with the bottom hair. So I'll just cornrow it and then I'll do some twists. Now using the magic of editing, I've already done the other side. So now I'm going to deal with this top part. And I like to do the top part at the same time so that these lines that I'm opening are symmetrical. So you'll see what I'm doing. I'm opening one side and the other side to make these lines exactly the same. I've tried to do this one side at a time. So I've tried to do one side and I find that when I come to this part, these lines are not straight. So it's best to do this part together at the same time as I am doing. So now I'm just straightening my lines, and once I'm happy with them, I'll get my yarn and I'll start doing my yarn braiding. And as usual, I'm going to take my oil and put it at the roots and at the ends, and then I'm going to brush my hair out. Next, I'm taking my yarn. Today I'm using Brazilian wool. You can use any wool that you want, any color. I used to use blue wool or yarn on my hair. So I like to use double, so 2 Brazilian wool for each part that I'm braiding. And in a wrapping technique, and I'll slow this down for you, I start wrapping my hair. So it's pretty simple. What I didn't explain is at the start, I didn't wrap my hair too tight. So you don't want to hold the hair too tight. And then when you wrap your hair with the yarn, you're just taking the yarn and wrapping it around the hair. And then you get it from the other side and then you wrap it again. So you continue doing it till you come to the end. And here I'm just stopping to see whether this is wrapped nicely, and I'm just continuing because I'm happy with the way it's been wrapped. And I'm also checking the tension at the beginning, at the start. I don't want it to be too tight. So this is the African way of braiding. This is how I used to get my hair braided when I used to go to school, in primary school. When I was in high school, I obviously didn't want to do this style anymore because everyone was getting braids at the time. So I started getting braids. So you see, I keep wrapping my hair and I only have a little bit of hair left. When you get to the end, you tie a knot. So I'm holding the hair that's at the end, and then I'm going to just tie a knot like this, and that's it. That's the first wrapped hair done. And you can see my hair is pretty long. So in this state, you can actually see the actual length of your hair. Obviously, my hair is not straightened. If I straighten my hair with a blow dryer, it'll be longer than this. So now I'm doing the other side and I'm doing exactly the same thing that I did. I'm wrapping my hair all the way to the end. So these are my first two wrapped hair. This is what they look like, and the tension is not too tight. Make sure the beginning is not too tight. Otherwise, you will not like this wrapped cornrows. One thing I like about this style is it lasts long, and especially for me because I'm swimming 3 times a week. I really like this hairstyle because I get to keep it for at least a month without it unraveling. The cornrows will start to look bad, but this part will stay wrapped for quite a long time. I think 3 weeks, and then the 4th week I'll just be pushing it, but it'll still look neat. And it's quite an easy hairstyle to sleep in. You all know how hard some hairstyles are to sleep in. As I mentioned before, I am opening my lines at the same time so it's symmetrical, and then I'll just continue wrapping my hair in two. So I'm just going to forward the video because now you know what I'm doing. I'm going to wrap these 2 hairs and then I'll open the next line and I'll come back and explain what I'm doing. So I'm now at my 3rd set of wrapped cornrows. So I'm just using my mirror to open the lines because it's now going to the back, which I can't see. Now that I have my lines, I'm using my thread or yarn and I'm going to keep wrapping. Do you guys like watching my hair tutorials? Please let me know in the comment section if you do. Also, if you like this type of videos, please like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comment section what hair tutorials you want me to do. As you have seen in the thumbnail of this video, I'm doing a 3-in-1 style. So I have longish hair, and so today I'll show you how you do this style with pretty much long hair and what you do when your hair is not as long. In fact, when your hair is quite long, it's quite hard to achieve this style. You do not have to braid it all the way as I'm doing now, but because I'm showing you the first style, I'm braiding it all the way to the end. So if you have short hair or shorter hair than mine, maybe half the length of my hair, this style will come out much better. So at this point, I've done 6 wrapped hair, 3 on each side. Now I'm going to join my hair with that cornrow. So the first cornrow on the top. So I'm opening my line so it goes across where that cornrow was. So I'm just going to do it both sides so that it's symmetrical. And then once I have it aligned and it's symmetrical, I will join that piece of hair that I'm holding to the cornrow that I've already done. That is why I cornrowed and then I twisted it halfway. So now I'm putting my clip to just secure my hair so that I can see clearly. And using my mirror, I'll open the line and check if the line that I've opened is straight. This is the hardest part because at the back, it's very hard to see what I'm doing, but usually I get it as close to straight as possible. Then I also oil my hair as usual and make sure that it's straight. At this point, I'm taking my 2 yarn and I'm going to attach that piece of hair from my cornrow to the hair that I'm going to wrap. And then I wrap it around together. So this part is very important. If you skip this part, your hairstyle won't be the same as mine. And at this point, my thread ended because it was short. So I just attached more thread. So I didn't really tie anything. All I simply did was I just took a new piece of thread and then I continued wrapping my hair as usual, making sure the new thread overlaps and wraps on top of the old thread. So just to emphasize what I did, I oiled my hair, made sure the ends are well oiled, brushed my hair, and at this point I take the cornrow from before, so the one that I had cornrowed and twisted, and then I attach it to that piece of hair that I'm going to wrap, and then I start wrapping my hair using the thread. And I did this on purpose because I knew the thread was short. Holding the thread, I'm going to add new thread on top of this, and you can see that my hand is holding the thread that is finished, and so I'm overlapping the new thread and it's going to just wrap over the old thread, and I'll continue wrapping till I get to the end of the hair. So now we're going to part the last 2 pieces of hair on each side. So I'm parting this hair, and this top hair that my hand is resting on, that is going to join the other cornrow that's on the bottom. I'm going to just do the same on the other side so they're symmetrical, and then once I'm happy with it, I'll join those 2 cornrows from each side onto the new hair that's being wrapped. So here you see me oil my scalp and my ends, and then I'm just going to give it a quick brush. And once I'm happy with the look, I'm going to take my thread and my cornrow and I'll add it to the hair that I'm going to wrap. And so I'm going to do this for both sides, and I'll come back and talk to you once I'm done. Oops, I have a piece of hair sticking out. I just tuck it in. I do not want to redo the whole cornrow because it was on the actual cornrow. So now we're almost done with our hairstyle. This is the part where I split that hair at the back, the cornrow at the back. And next I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to snip all those thread that I left hanging on my threaded hair. And so this is the fun part where I take my wrapped hair and I start making this kind of a twisted design. So all I did was, let me slow the video down for you. So I took the first threaded hair and placed it next to the second one like this. And then I took the second threaded hair and put it in front of that first one. And then the 2 hairs, I twisted them, put them next to the third one, put the third one on top of the first and second one, and then I twisted them, and then I put them next to the 4th threaded hair, put the 4th one in front, and then twisted them. So this is the pattern that I go for. You can do it either in front or under, it's up to you. And now I'm just twisting the last threaded hairs together. And then with the final part that's not braided, I open it into 2 sections, and then I put my twisted hair in the middle, and then I just hold it together. I make sure that I add that one side of the middle cornrow that I twisted earlier, and then I just thread it together. So that is one side done. Now I'm going to do the other side. It's so simple. I'm just going to pass the hair as I mentioned before, and this is how fast I do it. It doesn't really take me that long. And then I twist it along as I go, and then when I get to the end, I join it with the hair that wasn't braided at the end, and then I just braid it all together like this. Yay, so that's the first style done. I'm just checking in my mirror to see if everything is in the right position. And now all I do is I take my hair and I just wind it up, and then I wrap it around, and I take my elastic bands, and then I just put 2 elastic bands to just hold it so that it stays like that. Because I'm going out tonight, there's a lady coming from South Africa to perform, and so I'm attending her show, and I'm so excited to be rocking my hairstyle. Hopefully I'll attach some videos of the show. Next, I like to use this foaming mousse to just remove the frizz from my hair. It actually makes my hairstyle last longer. And because I'm going out in a few hours, I'm just gonna put gel on my edges. I don't really put gel on my edges that often. It's only when I'm going out or on special occasions.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Finally, I'm dressed and I'm ready to go. I just want to show you this thing I was tying. It has satin on the other side, making it easy for my hair to lay. And so just to finish off my look, I'm using these clip-ins today. And I'm just gonna put the clip-ins around the two ponytails. So I want to have like two clip-in ponytails hanging at the back. So I used about 4 clip-ins per ponytail, and I actually made these clip-ins myself. So I had some hair and then I just bought the pins and then I put the pins, and I've really liked these clip-ins. I had bought some, but they were a different shade to my hair. So I'll show you later. They're a bit lighter than my hair. Next, I'm using my little elastics and I'm just going to hold the hair so that it stays as a small ponytail, because when I do not do this, it doesn't really show the parting of the two ponytails. So I just put an elastic band on both sides. And now I'm just looking for my hair jewelry so I can style my hair. And every single time, people stop me and ask me whether I have actual slippers in my hair. We all know how expensive slippers are. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, these are not slippers. Please don't rob me. These are just hair. I don't even know what they're called. And I bulk purchased silver and gold, and it was very inexpensive. So this is what the final product looks like. I'm just gonna spin around so you can see. That's the back, side, and front. I'm running late for my show, so see you later. So see you later. Hello guys, so I'm back with another video. I just wanted to give you an update on my hairstyle. Oh, look at my edges. Anyway, so I've had this for 2 weeks now. The cornrows are still okay, and so are the African yarn braiding, still okay. I might try and push it for another week, so at least I'll get a 3 weeks or a month out of this hairstyle. So I'm going to show you what style I have been doing. Normally I switch it up, but of late I've just been doing one style. So I'll just quickly do my edges and I'll show you. I don't really do my edges every single time. I'm only doing it today because obviously when I film in my bathroom, I can't actually talk because normally I have my light on, and it makes a sound because it's connected to the fan. So I try not to film and talk. So what I've been doing, I still have my hair tucked in, and as you can see, this is the most like protected my hair will be. That's why I like this as a protective hairstyle. What's going on with this? Why do I have a pimple all of a sudden? Anyway, so after I do my edges, I like to just put my oil, because obviously I don't like, this is what I do, I just put a little bit of oil on top because I don't like that hold look. So when I put my oil, it kind of loosens it up a bit, and I know it helps my hair to breathe. So of late I've been using this. So this is oh, I don't know what it is, but anyway, these are clip-ins, and there's 9 in them. I don't really use all 9, but I'm just putting it at the back. I've been putting it at the back until I reach this part where the design is, and I'll show you how I have been doing it. So I just first cover these two with the smallest clip-in, so they have clips which I just open and then I just slide through and then I close them. Yeah, and then I take the other one, so I'm just covering these two. So I'm just wrapping the two. Around like that. So I've wrapped these two, and then now I'm just gonna go in, and I did cut some of it, so I've used it as a fringe before, so I've cut some of it. So the one that's cut, I'll put it right at the back, so it just gives volume and nothing more. You want to make sure you hear that click sound, so you know that they are settled in well and they clipped in well. So here we go. And I just like to fluff it. See, these ones have been fluffed out much better. So I like to fluff out the ones at the front. And then this is the last one. I'm just fluffing it out. There we go. So this is how I have been rocking my hair of late. Honestly, why? Yeah. So I put it to, as I showed you, where these gold things kind of end. That's where I stop. And I'll turn and show you. Yeah, so this hairstyle, it keeps giving. It keeps giving. Yeah. So if I wanted it to be more, like, I would go all the way and then add some more, because I still have quite a few of the things left. But I just want it at the back. If I want, I can tie it, but I just want it to be at the back. Yeah, and that's it. Hello guys, so now I'm at style number 3. I've already done my braiding using my Brazilian wool. And so on this final hairstyle that I'm going to show you, I actually don't want my hair to be braided all the way. So this is the hairstyle that I told you works well with shorter hair. So right here, you can see me holding down the hair to measure where I want my actual braided hair to stop. So where I'm holding, that's where I will undo the yarn till. So I'm just gonna unravel this yarn till there. I'm holding the hair with my index finger and my thumb, so I know where to stop. And then once I get there, I'm going to use my little elastic bands. To hold the yarn in place, but I'm going to cut off all the excess yarn. So make sure you put the elastic band first before you cut, because if you cut first, you're going to have the yarn sticking out. And so what's left is my hair, and I'm just gonna do the same. So I'm measuring, as you can see, I'm measuring, and that's where I want my braided hair to end. So I'm just gonna continue doing that for all the yarn threaded hair. I'm going to measure it. So I'm measuring the actual yarn threaded hair because I want it to end exactly where the last braided yarn is. So you see the last one at the back. So let me show you with the next one. So now I take this hair and then I measure it. I want it to align where the last braided hair was. And then I unravel the yarn threading till the point where I'm holding. I'm using 2 elastics at a time because if I put one, sometimes it breaks. So I'm just putting 2 elastic bands to hold the yarn in place. I have done this before and tied it, And trust me, it is very hard to it's very hard to unravel when your hair is tied halfway. So I prefer putting the little elastics. It just makes my life easier when I'm undoing this hairstyle. So off camera, I did the other side, and so this is what it looks like. What I'm just doing now is I just need to brush out the hair that's not yarn braided. So I just need to get it as smooth as possible. So I'm just using my brush, and I'll just fluff it out so that it's just like my normal hair. And I'm just going to quickly go through and do it on all the yarn braided hair. So if my hair was shorter, I wouldn't have to do this whole process. I would just braid my hair till the end of my hair. But because my hair is pretty long, I have to do this, and it'll make sense when I'm putting everything together. So I think now my hair is quite fluffed out. I'm going to just get my satin scrunchies, and I'm just going to tie my hair up. And so I'm using 2 small elastic bands on each side, and I'm just going to hold the last bit of hair. So you can either do it under like this, or you can do it over like I did last time. It's really up to you. So this time I was winding my hair under so I can show you what it looks like. It's pretty much similar. It's almost similar, but I prefer to do it under when I'm doing my hairstyle like this because it will have a straighter look. And then I'm going to use these braids. So these are Kima 7 professional braids. They're 26 inches long. I really want them to be long. And you can see when I open, these braids have already been stretched out, so I don't have to do anything. And they actually have a very strong smell. Not a terrible smell. They smell like vinegar. So they've done something to them. So to attach the braid, I'm going to put 4 elastics. And I flick the elastic in like this, and I loop it back. And then I take my braid and I attach it to the last hair. So the last hair that's not braided. Next, I just remove the clip from my other hair that I had twisted. And I'm just going to get another elastic. So I'm going to get 2 elastics. And I'm just going to hold this hair in place. After that, I'm going to braid both the extension and then the hair inside the extension together to make one big braid. So I'm just going to hold everything and braid it down. And as you can see, I am covering my hair, my natural hair, inside this braid. That's why I keep fluffing it so that it's inside. So I try not to braid the whole thing so it has a bit of a natural look like that. Then I put 2 more elastics at the ends to hold my braids. I comb the ends and then I trim it a bit. And then I open and fluff out my braid so that it's like a fishtail braid. And then I do the exact same thing on the other side. One thing that I forgot to mention was when I'm putting the extension, I'm just using 1 piece of the extension. So the extension comes in 7 pieces. I just grab 1 piece like that. So that means I have 5 more pieces left in the packet. And so I'll just do exactly the same as what I did on the other side. Ideally, for this hairstyle to work perfectly, your natural hair needs to be at least straight. So you can see over here, there's some natural hair puffing up. I'm just going to tuck it in when I finish, but it will come up again every single day. So I just need to make sure that I tuck it in every single day. And at the end, I'm just trying to make my hair as symmetrical as possible. That's why I'm standing up. And once I touched this piece, I realized this is actually not my hair. It's some of the thread that I was cutting. So I just took my scissors and snipped it off. And so this is what my hairstyle looks like. I'm going to turn around so you can see the full 360 degree. So this is my take on the African yarn braiding. What do you guys think? I use Brazilian wool, and this is what I achieved. I like this hairstyle. It's pretty neat. Which of the 3 hairstyles do you like best? And can you see yourself rocking this as a protective hairstyle?